This week, on 13th June, we have two webinars waiting for you. By 10 a.m., we have Beyond Market Noise, How to Build a Resilient Portfolio in Current Market Environment. By 11 a.m., we have The Financial Shift Every Woman Must Make Before 40, exclusively for women. Link for both the webinars are attached in the description. To join this webinar, make your weekend a happy learning weekend.
35 years ago, most investors had barely heard of the phrase equity research. People were reading balance sheets and investing, but they had not turned this into a holistic discipline. At that time, I was drawn to equity research simply because of what I saw outside. I could see that people were information based investors. Most investment success in the early 90s was information based. When most investment success was information based, I felt that there could be an analytical edge. If you were analytical in your approach and if you developed very strong competencies in industries, in themes, and in your understanding of where the economy is going. That drew me to equity research. Over the years, equity research has grown, evolved, and transformed. Today, we stand at a point where equity research is more about how you run your process of research using technology and becoming less and less about thinking. It's a very assisted activity today. Everybody wants to use artificial intelligence to form judgments. There is a very strong tendency to not think harder and kind of outsource that job to artificial intelligence. I won't name a particular platform, but there are multiple platforms and you all know those platforms. So, from where we started to where we are is a very, very long journey. At this point, I am seeing a lot of young people who come to us, particularly to me directly, wanting to do only equity research. That kind of surprises me because when I see how equity research is being done today, I see less and less scope for an individual to showcase his own ability. When your entire process is becoming highly technological and less thought driven, a youngster is actually being drawn to doing that work because he thinks that he can use technology better and come out with better judgments. I believe that the edge which a person can show as an investment thinker will not be available to this youngster. I feel that that is not relevant, or it is not as relevant as the young aspirational professional thinks it is. So, equity research itself is probably not the thing which today's young graduates, those coming into the work life, are thinking it is. Because if the industry is going to work the way it's now heading, and I don't think it's going to reverse because I have a view. So, in this progression, I feel that the scope to excel is going to come down. It's going to become more and more mechanical and less thoughtful. Also, if you can't differentiate your ability to think in a professional system, then the opportunity for you to grow in your career is probably not as bright as it was when I started equity research. The opportunity to grow as an investor is also not as bright because there is no information edge, there is no analytical edge also. Because individuals are not trying hard to bring their own perspective into research, or such individuals are few and far between. I am saying this because the average youngster wants to get into equity research doesn't want to be this person who is thinking all the time and coming up with different thought processes that will give him the information edge. He thinks that his edge is technology and how he is going to leverage technology. Also, there is this glamour associated with this field based on the last few years of bull run, that this is the best place to be and this is the hottest place to work in. I believe that if you are in equity research, you have to be ready to spend years doing work which doesn't translate into any outcome. If you have a 5-year bear market, then all the equity research you do is not going to translate into any outcome. You can't showcase your personal abilities and your skills to the world for it to immediately sit up and take recognition. In that environment, you will have to show enormous patience with your career. You will have to be working very hard, you will have to be at it, you will have to be very disciplined, and you should never lose focus, and you should be willing to delay your gratification. I am not sure that the young career professional who wants to choose equity research today is coming in with that mindset or expectation. Their mindset and expectations based on what happened between 2020 and 2025, which made equity research a very easy discipline, a hot place where you can showcase your ability to spot companies which will keep on going up, and by virtue of that you go up. This disparity between expectation and reality is probably more likely in the next 5 years. And when we are faced with that disparity, if you have taken equity research as your preferred career with the expectation of the last 5 years, I believe the next 5 years may not give you what you want. With most people actually setting the expectation based on the past 5 years, I strongly believe that equity research is not a thing, because it's a boring discipline where after 10 years of work you start coming into your own, and then as you grow older you get your edge. It's a very long gestation activity, and today technology is inevitable as something that intrudes into your regular activity. I believe that technology will assist you in a lot of things, but it will also stop you from thinking hard enough, because earlier you had to think to come up with whatever you do. Today we are naturally conditioned not to think but to ask. Now, asking is not a bad thing. We have all learned by asking around, but not thinking and asking is not a good thing either. That is another aspect which makes me say that equity research in the current and immediate future is not a thing. For somebody who wants to have a career, equity research should not be a choice. For somebody who wants to have a way of life, equity research can be a choice, but remember, it's a 10-year investment that you're going to make before you figure out how good you are and the world sits up and takes notice. Thank you for watching this video.